Fanatics closing a $1.5 billion funding round in March, bringing the company's private valuation now to $27 billion. Joining us now with more on how they're deploying the capital, Michael Rubin, CEO of Fanatics. This is our latest snapshot, our latest update. Michael, for people that don't remember the last round, how long ago was the last funding round and what was the valuation at that point? Because it's like, I don't know what kind of returns these are. I need a calculator.
Joe, how you doing? Good to see you. Last round we did, I think it was last summer, it was around $18 billion. And we felt like we were just getting started then. We feel the same way today.
Well, so that's another 50% on top of that. So where was the miscalculation on what your business is worth? It's not really a miscalculation. You're doing a lot of great things, but were the previous valuations just way too low? People didn't understand it. Is this now very rich and something that's going to be hard to grow into? I mean, where's the disconnect on how quickly this is growing? Are you just like the greatest genius of all time, financial genius?
Well, I'm definitely not the greatest genius of all time. That is for sure. I think we all know that. Look,
I don't know.
The company's gone through a pretty fast transformation. We started originally in the consumer products and merchandise business and reinvented that category. And we really transformed the company into a digital sports platform. And we've added several new businesses since. So you think about this, a couple of years ago, we had this fast growing direct-to-consumer merchandise business. And today we have that, plus we have the collectibles business, the NFT business. We're entering the online sports betting and iGaming business. I think we have our sights on other digital sports businesses in the future. So I think we have a pretty enormous opportunity. We aspire to build, one of the biggest technology and sports companies long term. And, ultimately, we want to have billions of sports fans that we serve, throughout the world that look at us as a beloved brand. So I really feel like we're just getting started. One thing I will tell you, when we do our deals, we always look to, one, listen to the market. We had 50% of our investors were new investors in this round, firms like BlackRock, MSD, Fidelity, QIA, and we look to listen to them. We also always look to leave, really room on the table because we want to keep giving investors great value. And I think $27 billion is actually very inexpensive, and we're going to prove that in the future. So we feel great about where we're headed. The company's going to be over $5 billion in revenue this year, highly profitable, and again, just getting started.
So the president just said something to Amazon. Amazon, we're coming for you. And I'm just wondering, could you be a private company in 5 years? Would there be, I don't know if I'd want to be a public company. I'd almost like to stay, if you can keep raising money like this privately, will you eventually go public, or is it possible that you just never pull the trigger on that?
Look, anything's possible, but I think we're going to be a public company. I think it makes sense for us. We have great shareholders that have invested in us. We want liquidity for our employees. I think it does make sense over time. And I think for us, we're doing so much right now as we're adding these new businesses and new verticals into the digital sports platform. I think it makes sense to do it in a private environment. But I do think it makes sense for us to be public, and I think we'll be, an exciting public company. We're looking forward to that in the future.
Timing? Why not now? Why? What's the problem? No time like the present.
Yeah, there's no problem at all. I think for us, as we've now entered the collectibles business, entering the online sports betting, iGaming business, entering the NFT business, we'd like to do that kind of as you're launching new businesses in a private, kind of environment. But again, look, we've been very transparent about it. I think we should be a public company, and I think that happens, in the kind of medium term. It's not long term. It's not tomorrow.
Do you foresee increasing? When you're private, you can do what you want, I think, too. Would you buy more of the 76ers? Would you buy other teams that just almost vanity projects? Or is everything about the bottom line down the road?
Yeah, absolutely not. I've made it clear that my focus is 150% on Fanatics. I've never worked harder. I've never had more fun. I think I start at 4 or 5 o'clock most mornings. I go hard every day. I do it, 7 days a week. And it's 100% focused on how do we build the most incredible digital sports platform? How do we have, as I said, hundreds of millions or even billions of fans that look at us as a beloved brand that they can do all the digital sports needs with? And I think focus is really important. So while I remain involved with the Sixers, there's going to be no future sports ownership for me, because I think that's a distraction from me putting all of my energy into leading Fanatics with our more than 10,000 incredible employees.
Well, I don't know. if you own more of the 76ers, I don't know if the floor seats would get any better. Would you get a couple, maybe a couple more? You can't really move them onto the, like under the basket or something. Okay? I mean, you can't get much better. You don't need to add to it. Do you think you got the composition to go all the way this year, just as an aside?
Listen, first of all, for you, we're actually going to get you in the metaverse. We're going to put you in the game. We're going to have you, really in the biggest way.
My vertical jump's about 3.5 inches, honest to God.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm taking under 2 inches, not feet.
For me,
look, the reality is we have a competitive, good basketball team, but there are several other competitive basketball teams. I think we have a great organization. We have tremendous players, tremendous coach, tremendous organization, great ownership in Josh Harris and Dave Blitzer. But the reality is, I'll tell you when the season's over. You have one job when you own a sports franchise. Championships, and anytime you don't do that, you fall short of the goals for the city that you represent. And I think Sixers remain hopeful, but until it happens, we haven't accomplished anything.
Have you watched the Lakers drama on I don't know what network it's on, but have you watched it? Yeah, HBO. It's hilarious.
It's so good. It's not like other than watching
was
you guys
Jerry
wake
West
up in the
really,
morning.
You think Jerry West was really like that, honestly?
But
Do you think Jerry West,
other than watching, I tell people this all the time. Other than watching you guys in the morning, and for the 10 minutes in the shower and live sports at the end of games, I do not watch any television. I'm addicted to that show. I just saw Judy Buss in LA a few weeks ago. I was talking to her about it. I've got my daughter who I'm getting to watch it now. My whole family's into it. I've got my baby watching it with me. So it's a great show. I don't know whether it's really that wild, but it's amazing. I'm getting great education. For me, I've only been in the sports business for, depending on how you look at 10 or 20 years, that gives you the good old time history.
Well, you got to wait, you got to Jerry Bussify your own MO, I think. You get a little bit more like Jerry. You got the gold chain, you got the open shirts and things, and maybe a stash. And
listen, my job is just to satisfy hundreds of millions of sports fans with everything they want. I'm going to stay focused on that.
They're yelling at me again. Whenever we have fun, I get yelled at. All right. Thanks, Michael. We'll see you. Squawk Box.
Thanks for having me.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.